Okay, but real talk for a second. Has anyone out there not stood in front of their laundry mountain and just wanted to shut the door and forget it exists? Cuz,
Same.
oh,
You are preaching to the choir. I feel like everyone struggles with clutter at some point, you know? Makes you wonder, is it really just a time thing or is there something deeper going on, like psychologically?
and that is exactly what we are diving into today. We're tackling an episode of Clean Sweep Chronicles, and it's all about those awesome transformation stories. Like, the before photos are total chaos and the after is like Zen sanctuary goals. We're going to break down some super relatable clutter journeys, those expert cleaning hacks, and like even the psychology behind why we let that mail pile become its own zip code.
Right. Like, what is the deal with that? I am here for uncovering those hidden psychological layers.
Yeah.
And this Clean Sweep Chronicles episode, it gives us some really juicy stories to work with. Remember Sarah from Seattle? She talked about her living room being like completely colonized by life clutter, toys, laundry, mail, you name it.
Oof. Life clutter is so real, it's not even funny. It reminds me of that time I decided I was going to conquer my junk drawer, except it just kind of
Yeah,
multiplied.
I think those drawers have like a direct line to a black hole or something.
Right. But anyway, Sarah actually said that the stress of all that clutter got so bad, she was actually avoiding her own living room.
Which, like, I totally get it, but also it's kind of wild how much mental space clutter can take up, even if we're not, like, consciously thinking about it. And
Yeah.
then on the totally opposite end of the spectrum, there was Jordan, the college student, remember him? That tiny dorm room felt like a shoebox. He was saying he felt suffocated by all his stuff, just overwhelmed.
See, totally different people, totally different living situations, but that same thread of feeling like weighed down by their stuff.
Yeah, right. It really makes you think. And this is where it gets really interesting because it's not just about the stuff, right? It's all those invisible piles of emotional baggage we're stacking on top, like that feeling of avoidance that Sarah had, the anxiety, being overwhelmed. These are all common threads when we talk about clutter struggles.
Okay, so if clutter is impacting us on this deeper level, how do we actually break free?
Yeah.
Clean Sweep Chronicles to the rescue again. They have this four-step process that I have to admit is super legit.
Right. And it's more than just like a list of chores. They weave in some smart psychology into each step. I love it.
Totally. Okay, so step one, start small, which on the surface seems kind of obvious, right? Don't try to declutter your entire life in one weekend.
Right, but here's the thing. Start small isn't just about avoiding burnout. It's actually how our brains work. Every time we check off a small goal, boom, our brains are like, woohoo, and give us a little dopamine reward. And that, my friend, is what keeps us motivated to keep going. Small wins, big changes.
Okay, I am here for small wins, big rewards, 100%. But step two, this is where I always get tripped up, and that is decluttering. Facing the mountain of stuff and making the hard choices. Keep it, toss it, donate it, maybe someday.
Ugh, yes. And this is where people hit a wall. It's wild how emotional it can be to let go of stuff, even if it's just stuff. We've all been there.
Oh, trust me, I know. That concert tee from like 10 years ago. Yeah, that's going to the maybe pile. More like the never letting go pile, let's be real.
Uh-huh, yep. The just in case pile is a dangerous place. But you do have a point. Why is it so hard to let go of things?
I think it comes down to a few things. Sentimental value for sure. We hate to be wasteful. And then there's that, but what if I need this someday? It's a decision fatigue disguised as a messy closet.
Okay, but seriously, decision fatigue is real. You know, it's like every item in that closet is demanding a full-on trial to determine its fate. It's too much pressure. No wonder we just say forget it and order takeout. But anyway, back to those clean sweep chronicles, cleaning wizards and their 4 steps. Steps 3 and 4 are where we actually get down to business, the actual cleaning part. First up, clean top to bottom, which, once you hear it, it seems kind of brilliant, right?
Right. Like, why would you dust those shelves twice?
Exactly. Though sometimes, I'll be honest, I get fixated on whatever's stressing me out most in the moment, even if it means I'll probably end up cleaning it again later. Anyone else guilty of that? No, just me. Okay, on to that final step. Create systems, which I guess is all about like making sure your hard work actually lasts.
Right.
Think of it as setting yourself up for success, storage bins, labels, a designated spot for everything. They're like those little boundaries that help keep the chaos at bay. It's amazing how much easier it is to keep things tidy when like everything actually has a home.
Okay, speaking of creating systems, you know that interview on Clean Sweep Chronicles with the person who did that massive cleanup project? They were calling it a total life transformation.
Yeah.
I'm so curious if they had that light bulb moment,
Mhm.
realized how much their space was impacting their well-being.
Yeah, I'm super curious about that too. Like, we all know that feeling of, after a good decluttering session. But this person, they went all in. Did they feel lighter, like less spurting, like they actually cleared out more than just the physical stuff?
Totally. So was it more of a purely emotional change? Or were there more concrete benefits? Did they suddenly have tons more energy? Did they feel more focused at work? Sleep better? Give me the details.
Me too. And this brings up that question that I think about a lot. Does a clean space actually equal a clear mind? Or is it more complicated than that?
Right. Like which one comes first, you know?
Hmm.
Is it, oh, my space is clean and organized. Now I feel like I can take on the world. Or do you need that inner peace, that sense of control before you can even deal with the overflowing junk drawer?
You're hitting on something really important. It's probably a bit of both, right? Like this feedback loop where your outer world and your inner world are always kind of like in conversation with each other. It makes you think.
It really does. If our spaces are like a reflection of what's going on inside of us, what does our ideal space say about us?
Right.
And how do we even begin to create that when it feels like life is constantly happening? Okay, before we get too deep into that, there's a listener question that I really want to get to because I relate to this one so hard. And it's something that I think anyone who shares their home with a pet will understand.
Ooh, yeah, hit us with it. Gotta love those real world cleaning dilemmas. That's what this deep dive is all about.
Okay, so this listener asks, what is the single best way to deal with pet hair everywhere? Like it's embedded in the couch cushions, it's clinging to the curtains, you look down and you're wearing it. It's a losing battle.
The never ending pet hair struggle. I love that they said best way because honestly, we could do a whole separate deep dive just on this. We've got your standard pet hair vacuum cleaner, of course, the trusty lint roller, but maybe,
Maybe we need to stop playing defense and get ahead of it, you know?
ooh, you're talking about being proactive. I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah. Like instead of just lint rolling our lives away, what if we upped our brushing game? Our free roommates would get the spa treatment and our sofas would thank us.
Now that's what I call a win-win. And you know those furniture covers they have now, they are not your grandma's plastic slipcovers anymore.
Okay, but just hear me out on this, okay? What if?
Hmm.
I know this might sound crazy, but what if we just leaned into the pet hair a little? Isn't there something kind of sweet about it? Like the sign of a happy, lived-in, loved-in home.
You know, sometimes it is about changing your perspective, right? Deciding what you're going to stress about and what you can just like accept as part of what makes your home yours, what works for you, your lifestyle, even your pets.
Totally. Like choosing to see the pet hair, not as the enemy, but as like little reminders of the furry love that lives in your home, you know? Okay, I think we've officially covered it all in this deep dive. We went from those moments where we're like drowning in clutter to the deeper why behind it, got those pro-level cleaning tips, and then somehow ended up having deep thoughts about pet hair.
It's been quite the ride, but I think the biggest thing we can take away from all of this is that cleaning. It's not about being perfect. It's not about making your home look like a magazine. It's about how your space makes you feel.
So true. It's
Yeah.
about creating a space that really reflects you and how you want to feel in your home. So as you look around your own little corner of the world right now, what does it say about you?
Ooh, good question. What little steps can you take today to start creating a space that brings you joy, that feeling of peace, maybe even just a little more control in a world that can feel really chaotic?
Maybe it's finally tackling that someday pile. Or maybe it's accepting that, hey, a little bit of chaos is just part of life. Whatever clean means for you, we hope this deep dive gave you the tools and the inspiration to create a space that truly feels like home.
And remember, the journey to a tidy home, it all starts with a single step. Or maybe just picking up that one sock that's been staring at you from the corner.